one. This is a quadratic equation here. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. Well, in this tutorial, I'm just going to show you how to derive a quadratic formula by using the method of completing the square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to derive the equation for the quadratic equation using the method of completing the square. This is the standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. The quadratic formula, by the way, it's a formula used to find the roots of the quadratic equation. In other words, the two values of x. By the way, it's at most two values of x, which are the roots of the quadratic equation. In other words, the values of x, which if you would substitute them into this equation right here, then you'd get in other words, the equation would balance. The left hand side would be equal to the right hand side, which is 0. So by the way, when you complete the square, the first thing we would have to make the coefficient of x squared to be 1. So how do you do that? So we have to divide everything here, every term, by the coefficient of x squared, which is a. So if I divide by a in the first term, I'm gonna remain with just I'm sorry, let me just do this. I'm just gonna remain with x squared, right? And then in the second term, in the second term, I'm gonna have b, which is the coefficient of x, then divided by a, which is the coefficient of x squared, then multiplied by the x. This app that I'm using here, I'm not sure if, I think I have to still set it for the sensitivity because it's not okay. B over a times x, then plus, in the third term we just gonna have c divided by a, then equals to 0, right? So now we're simply going to complete our square. How do we do that? I'm gonna write x squared plus b divided by a, right, then multiplied by x. This is the same way as the first term. I'm sorry, not the first term, like the previous step, right? And then now what we're gonna do here, we're gonna use a trick here, which is actually the trick that actually completes the square of this equation. So how do we do that? We're gonna write b, plus, we open this app, we're gonna write we open the brackets first of a square. So we open a bracket, then we square it, right? So we're gonna write b, we take the coefficient of x, then we divide it by 2. In other words, we multiply it by 1 over 2, we half it. So we're gonna get b over 2. I'm not sure I'm not gonna write 2 in this. Yes, 2a, yes. Then we're also gonna subtract that term. Why? Because the term was not there initially, remember that. So if I don't want to change the value of, because if I'm just gonna add this term only without subtracting it, it's as if I've changed the value of the entire equation, right? I've changed the equation itself. But then if I add it and subtract it, it's as if I haven't done anything. Some people would prefer to like add on the left hand side and right hand side, still the same thing by basically. So I'm just gonna have b over, in other words, same thing, b over 2a, then squared this side, right? Then plus our c over a. Okay, then I'm just simply gonna do this. then equals to 0, right? So now this is what I'm gonna do here. I'm just gonna simply zoom out. So this is the following thing that I'm gonna do here. The following thing that I'm gonna do, this is the very crucial step, just like the one that I've just written now. So now the first three terms, these first three terms, oh I'm sorry, let me do this. These first three terms right here, this is what I'm gonna do. From these first three terms, this is by the way a square on its own, so I'm gonna write one huge bracket, then I'm gonna square it, right? Then in this bracket, these three terms are just equivalent to this bracket that I'm gonna write here, which I'm just gonna write the x here, then plus, because of this positive value here on this third term. So now I'm just gonna write what's inside that bracket on the third term, which is just b, this b, I'm just gonna write b, this thing, okay, let me just do this, b over 2a, b over 2a, right? This is 2, by the way, not some delta. Let me just fix it. Okay, it's 2a, right? Then from here, I'm just gonna move everything else to the right side. So this is going to be equal to b squared, this square, okay, b squared over 4a squared, right? Then minus c over a, yes. Then okay, I'm just gonna simply put this here. Okay, fine. From here, the thing is, forgive me for being slow on this app right here. I'm not sure if you could recommend any other whiteboard apps that I can use other than this one. This one is called Microsoft Whiteboard. I'm not sure if it's that good because I'm still getting used to it. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do from here. From this step here, if you check here, so far how many steps have I written? It's basically 3 steps from the original one, right? So this is what I'm gonna do. From here I'm just gonna solve for x, making x the subject of the formula. Okay, how am I gonna do that? I'm gonna remove the square from the right hand side by using a square root. Let me do this. I'm just gonna do this. So I square root this whole bracket, 2a, yes, then squared, this, let's see if it's not a 2, yes, this way, then equals to, now the moment I'm gonna, okay, this is what's gonna happen because of this x here. It's an unknown variable, right? And then we have a square, and square rooting an x squared, remember you have to get a plus or minus. So this side I have to get a plus or minus of this entire right hand side. Okay, which is, if I'm just gonna simplify those two fractions, what I'm gonna get it's b squared, this thing, okay, b squared minus 4ac, okay, someone might ask, where does this 4ac come from? I'm just gonna explain quickly. Some might get it and some might not, but it's fine. All divided by common denominator, which is 4 this thing 4a squared, yeah, which is 4a squared. Wait, what am I doing now? Fine. Now this 4ac, if you remember, whenever you add or subtract fractions in mathematics, you first have to ensure that the denominators are the same. Otherwise, you have to find the LCD, lowest common denominator. In this case, the lowest common denominator is 4a squared, right? Because comparing these two terms on our right hand side, the first term, its denominator, it's 4a squared, which is our LCD. So I'm not going to change anything on b squared, you see. But then when it comes to the second term now, the denominator is just a. For a to get to 4a squared, we have to multiply a by 4a, so that it becomes 4a squared. So what you do on your denominator, you also do it on the numerator. So for that c, you also have to multiply it by 4a, which is why we now have 4ac. So now, okay, now the square root simply is just gonna cancel that square on our left hand side, so you're gonna remain with x. This x plus this plus b. Now, okay, let me just fix this. Okay, this is x plus b, you see now this thing, okay, plus b over 2a, right? Then is equals to plus or minus. Now the square root of the numerator, the side, I'm just gonna have square root of b squared, right, minus 4 this 4a, forgive me for this. I'm gonna like look out for other whiteboard apps which might be better. 4ac, I'm not sure if it's as if it's a d. So this app, let me just try to fix it once more. Again, 4ac. No, this doesn't look like an a. Let me just do this. Yes, 4ac. This is an a, by the way. Okay, fine. Then in the denominator, the square root of 4a squared, I'm gonna have just 2a. So far we might notice something. We have a 2a here, we have a 2a here, we have a 2a here, you see. So now what are we gonna do now? I feel like I'm just gonna copy things here, like just copy and paste, because to rewrite them all over again is troublesome on this app. But let me just try. Okay, this is what we're gonna have now. Remember, our main goal here is to write x as the subject of the formula. So now I'm gonna write my x here, leaving it on the it's not an x, leaving it on our left hand side, this x. Okay, let me try to do this. Then this is x. Then I'm gonna move everything else. Any other thing that doesn't have x in it has to move to the right hand side. So we're gonna have equal sign this app, this thing. Okay, this is x equals to let me try to do this. Oh, this thing doesn't even look like an equal sign. Yeah, x equals 2. Then now b over 2a changes the sign when it goes to our right hand side, becomes negative b over 2a. That b, don't mind it. Okay, let me just try to fix it. This is y. This is b. Let me try to write it slowly. minus b over 2a, right? Then again plus or minus our square root. Oh, can't I just copy that? Let me try, because to rewrite this thing over and over again is troublesome. Let me see. Yeah, I feel like I see. And can't I just copy everything else? No, look, now I've resized the whole thing. I want to like copy this whole thing. Yeah, nah, it's as if it's moving. I think it touches them like one by one. Okay, let me try to copy and paste and see. Copy. No, can't. Okay, let me just try to do this, try to rewrite it. So this is plus or minus loop now. I don't know this. Okay, it's square root of loop now. This thing b squared minus 4ac, yeah. It's even so ugly, but it's fine. Then over 2a. Now I'm just gonna write everything else on our right hand side as one thing, right? As one fraction, because they both have the same denominator. Okay, let me do this just to resize this. So therefore it now means our x becomes, therefore I'm not sure if it's gonna write. Okay, why is it writing in? Okay, this, I've selected that, therefore no, it doesn't want to write again. Let me do this. Therefore, why is it doing this to me now? I feel like it was better when I had started. Okay, therefore x equals to now everything else on our right hand side has the same denominator, so now I'm just gonna simply write everything over just one denominator, which is our 2a, right? Therefore we have minus b, forgive me, it's always a hassle when I have to write a b, so it's minus b plus or minus, oh, this thing, yes, plus or minus that discriminant, square root of that discriminant, which is b squared. How am I gonna fix this? Let me try to enlarge it and try to like this way. Then b squared minus 4ac, right? And by the way, this is our quadratic formula here. Right here we have our quadratic formula. Let me try to do this. So this is how you derive a quadratic formula from your quadratic equation. Forgive me for this app. I feel like maybe I'm just gonna get used to it as time goes on, or I just have to look for another whiteboard app, because I was just trying to test it out before I start the tutorial lessons for next year, for 2026, which I'm gonna do like weekly in mathematics, physics, as well as in programming. We're mostly gonna use Python, so at least I won't be writing that much. I'm just gonna be simply doing simple codes starting from our introduction courses and then moving onwards to our advanced courses as well. But then for now, I'm just gonna be like trying all other apps, all other whiteboard apps, and see if I can find the one that I can actually work with. Yes, this is how you derive our quadratic formula, guys. I'm sure most of you guys have done this in high school there, because this is just elementary algebra, by the way. Yeah, it's a sort of simple algebra. Nothing hectic here, right? And thank you.